Hello, everybody. Welcome to A Beautiful Future podcast episode with my friend and brother and one of my guiding lights, Dave Klaus. By way of very brief intro, Dave is a former public defender, and I think that's a beautiful job to go out there and literally call yourself a defender of the public. And I see Dave in that way, in not just in that job, but as a leader in the Mankind Project. He's also a therapist, a Zen priest, and a coach, life coach. Anyway, just an all around amazing guy. And I just love being around Dave. He makes me feel better about myself and like I'm in safe hands. So I'm gonna turn it over to Dave in a minute. But first, we're just gonna do a quick check-in because that's one of the foundations of what we do in men's work, is to just really be honest and open about what's going on with us to help us get in the moment. So, yeah, I'll just kick it off. I am checking in a little scattered, I would say. It's a day where I'm busy, I'm working, and I'm also trying to follow my passion and do it all. So how does that feel in my body? I feel a little anxiety, but I also feel a lot of joy and happiness that I get to spend some time trying to live out my vision and mission, which is to make a more beautiful future. So I'm very blessed, and I'm checking in with that. Dave, over to you.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm checking in. I'm in San Francisco where I live, and hmm, how am I feeling? I'm feeling happy and hopeful, um, and sad. There's definitely hard things happening with my family. Um, my brother's very ill and struggling, and feeling that deeply. We've been talking a lot and talking a lot to my dad and my sister, and yeah, we're really working with it. He just got out of the hospital again and is really struggling. And yeah, and in general in my life, I feel really grateful. Really, like, honestly, best I've ever been in my life. I feel hopeful, grounded, really clear. Um, and things have been falling into place since I retired from being a PD 3 years ago. I feel like I've really created the life I wanted. I get to do, as I keep saying, I'm in the Venn diagram of Dave, like stuff I really like to do, stuff I'm really good at, and stuff I occasionally get paid for. And it's exactly what I was hoping for, and even more. Um, and Yeah, actually, and also just to be honest, I'm also angry. I'm really angry at the state of the world. Angry at the so-called leadership that's happening in this country and around this world that seems to be devoted to violence and oppression and dominance. And I, like you, dream of a better way, a brighter future. And so I'm delighted to be here with you. And actually, just one small correction. I'm actually not a therapist. I did get master's degree in marriage and family therapy, but I'm not a licensed therapist. So for the authorities out there, I don't do that. But I am a coach, and I love that work. So now I'm in with that.
Awesome. Okay. Yes. Thank you. You got the degree, but not pursuing that as a professional license.
I do not have a license.
Okay. Um, well, you are very therapeutic, I would say, in so many ways. Great. Thank you, brother, for checking in and sharing all those range of emotions and things that are going on for you. I resonate with a lot of that. So yeah, these interviews are meant to let the world share what they want to see in a beautiful future. So I'm reaching out to my community, and I hope this project spreads so that as many people as possible can chime in into the internet, into the ecosystem about what they want to see in a beautiful future. So this is Dave's go at it, and so the question is the same for everyone. Can you pick one thing, one element, one, I don't know how to say it, something about a beautiful future that you think is a keystone part of it, a fundamental feature of a beautiful future?
Yeah, I love the question, and the future that I believe we deserve, and actually that I believe is happening, is a future in which every person can feel connected and safe in a circle, in a circle of their peers, of their community, of their friends, a place where they can go and be heard and tell the truth and be listened to and be witnessed in their truth. And this is the work you and I do. We do it with the Mankind Project. I've been sitting in the same men's group for 16 years. We meet the first and third Tuesday of the month for 3 hours. I was there last night, and it's been a place of profound healing for me. The place where I've gotten to really do my personal work around my mom and my dad and my family and my upbringing and some of the wounds and the troubles that I've experienced. It's a place where I've gotten to learn how to be a better dad, a better husband, and definitely a better leader. And then I'm actually doing tonight, I'm in a few hours heading to a gender inclusive circle. So my dear friend Lauren Hauser and I started a circle we're calling the Connection Lab. We meet about every 3 weeks in Oakland, and we have people of all genders in that circle, and doing this work, which is connecting and listening and being with each other. And I have to say, it's going really well, and it's been such a joy to sit with women and other people of other genders or non-genders, and to be able to kind of expand out, and really feel the full range of humanity as much as I love sitting with men. I mean, I really do. But it's really wonderful to see how that's expanding.
Thank you, brother. Yes. I totally agree that sitting in a circle is so key. Being seen by your community and being heard, and having a safe place to share your truth. In fact, I've been sitting in circles too for 15 plus years, and I've done different circles, and some non-MKP affiliated, where the only process was checking in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost as powerful as doing all the other, work that we do. Just that simple act of having a moment where each person speaks and can be heard is just so powerful.
100%. And this weekend, I was at a grief ritual retreat led by Josh Lowe, part of the Grief and Gratitude organization. And that mostly what we did was sit in circle and check in. That's what we did, just over and over. And
Amazing.
the specific topic there was to really share and express the grief that I feel. And not just the grief of losing people, which of course, I have, and I will continue to lose people. But also these other aspects of grief, this grief of grieving the dreams and the hopes that I had for my life that aren't happening. I'm 57 years old, and there's stuff, I used to have like a bucket list and now I have a not bucket list. There's stuff that's on that list that I'm just never going to do. I know I'm never going to do it. And there's sadness in that. And there's loss in that. And there's grief. And there's grief for as I mentioned earlier, the state of the world, the damage to our climate, to our environment. Grief for my kids. My kids are young adults. And like, what kind of world are they coming into? What does their future look like? And especially, we talk about this in our circles a lot, the grief for the parts of myself that have never really felt love. And I got them. I got those parts, the bully in me, the critic in me, the one that feels a lot of shame. No, those are not parts that I used to really love or want, And so I think part of this work for me has really been to welcome those parts and see them and give them the space to be heard, to be listened to be witnessed. And this has been the source of tremendous healing for me.
Beautiful. Yes. Thanks for sharing that about the other circles that have focus of grief. I think is huge. And yeah, so much healing can be done in a simple way with these circles, sharing truth, being heard, being seen. Yeah, absolute fundamental part of a beautiful future. I have a couple more questions. You've done all these modalities. I mean, public defender, Zen priest. You have the degree in therapy, the master's, and then now as a certified leader, co-leader in the Mankind Project, which is amazing. Is there a through line for all those activities that you've been pursuing, Dave?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, my wife wonders about that question too. The truth about me is I've been a seeker my whole life, always looking for the next thing, always turning over this rock, always scratching a new itch, trying stuff. And, for people who like the Enneagram, I'm an Enneagram 7, like all the way. I want to try everything and preferably twice, and the good news of that is, I've really learned a lot and I've had a wide experience. The cost of that, though, has been, first of all, I've done damage. There was times, when we had little kids and I was off doing Mankind Project weekends or off doing a Zen retreat and, left my wife at home with little kids and times I wasn't there for my family when I really should have been. And the times that I, you know, took on too much, had too many things going at once. I like, juggling too many things and ending up, frankly, often not giving full honor and commitment to things I had to activities. I was like half-assing stuff a lot. So, so the good news is, and this has really just become true for me, honestly, in the last couple of years, is like I've pretty much, I'm not going to say 100%, I've really stopped looking and started to see what I actually have, to see what's already here,
Mm.
to see the beauty of my home and my family, to see the beauty in me, to see the beauty in this world, even as like crazy and disturbing as it can sometimes be, there's still so much beauty and so much to be grateful for.
Hmm.
And so I would say the through line for me is what's really look where I've settled is those places where I feel that deep connection,
Mm.
where I find like an alignment between my my gut and my heart and my mind, right? Where I
Mm.
have that integrity,
Hmm.
um, and where I also can really fully commit, you know. I've done a lot of shedding in the last few years. I've resigned from things. I've
Mm.
ended things. I've, said goodbye to parts of my life that just, they were beautiful and helpful in certain ways, but it's over. That time is over.
Hmm.
Um, uh, and I could start listing them, but I won't. But there's a lot of things I've put down.
Mm.
And what that's given me is the ability to focus and be more present in what I'm doing. And so I'd say the through line is connection and presence.
Hmm. I totally see that. From the outside, I can see that very clearly. Even though inside it might seem like a winding path to me, I can see it as a very clear line from the
Thank you.
outside. It's beautiful and resonates a lot. I've done so many things. I've had 100 jobs and tried everything. And yeah, I'm starting to settle more too. I'm getting to that place, which feels good. Um, when I talked to you before, I do want to bring back your comments on justice because you have a ton of experience in this particular field.
Mhm.
And I'd love to hear how justice can play out in the beautiful future, in the one that's beautiful, the one that's connected, the one that is aligned. Because people are going to make mistakes and act out and behave from hurt and shadow places. So I'd love to hear your take on the administration of justice in the beautiful future.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I probably need to start with like how it is.
Okay.
Um, and I was a public defender trial attorney in Oakland, Alameda County, for almost 30 years. And you know, Oakland and the East Bay of California is one of the most intense places for crime that there is. And especially in Oakland and East Oakland. And so, when you work for Alameda County Public Defender, you're in the thick of it.
Hmm.
I handled countless cases, everything from petty thefts and driving under the influence to murder and capital murder, um, I, sex cases, shootings, gang stuff, human trafficking. I mean, just all of it.
Hmm.
I tried dozens of jury trials and settled, I'm guessing, more than 10,000 cases. I
Oh
didn't
my,
keep track, but there was a lot.
oh my God.
And and so you know what I saw happening, I mean, some people call it the criminal justice system, but I refer to it as the criminal punishment system
Mm.
because unfortunately and tragically, I think this system is not really designed to bring justice to people. It's not designed to bring fairness or equity. It's designed to punish people for their conduct. And I'm not saying that's completely wrong. And like you said, people do commit crimes, and there is a need for some time for punishment. And some people, a lot of my colleagues would say they're abolitionists, like they don't believe in prison. And, I'm not sure I would go there. I have met people that were in such a space that they did need to be locked up
Mm-hmm.
for a time.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw over and over again was this tendency to throw people away.
Mm.
That somebody commits a terrible, or even not a terrible, somebody commits a small crime. And the response, instead of meeting them with compassion and understanding and an opportunity for healing and restoration, right? Instead of that, what I saw was just let's lock them up, throw away the key. Let's not worry about their underlying drug addiction. Let's not concern ourselves with their evident mental illness. Let's not address their homelessness, their poverty, their lack of opportunity. Let's not address the racism and the other isms that are so present in our culture. And so, you know, I'm feeling the anger again. I mean, when I think about that, I feel a lot of anger. It's not a system that seems designed to heal. It's a system that's designed to separate and isolate.
Mm.
And so, as I've already said, to me, the path forward is through connection and healing. And so, what's starting to happen, which I'm hopeful for, is much more of a commitment to restorative justice, right? And so, what if we have a system where when somebody commits a crime, instead of just deciding, well, you're now a case number, and let's figure out what the number of, months or years in jail that comes to you is, let's actually ask some questions. What happened here? How did this come to be?
Mm.
What happened in your childhood? You know, what happened in your schooling? What happened in your families?
Mm.
What happened with substance abuse? What is the mental health issues that you have faced that have maybe never been addressed or supported? And what could we do to, yes, there might be a price to pay, but what can we do to bring you back into our community in a healthy way so that you don't do this anymore, so that you don't have this recurrent harm cycle? And so what I hope to see in the future is much more of that kind of work. And this is the work that public defenders did, admittedly working within this, draconian system. But my work was always to bring context to a situation, like to tell the story. The courts, the judges, the prosecutors, the police, they just want to focus on what's happened in that 2 minutes where this violent act occurred. And we were always saying, well, wait a minute, let's look at what else happened here, right? And let's look at a holistic a way to address this so that we can heal this situation. And I want to really emphasize too, it's not just the criminal defendants that get destroyed by this system. It's the victims, right? It's the people who are suffering the crimes that are also getting thrown away
Mm.
because no one's asking them what they need, right? I know the prosecutors would like to say that they're really concerned with victims, but I saw over and over and over again, the victims were just another tool for the prosecutor, just somebody, they just used them to get convictions and to get punishments. They didn't seem to really care.
Mm.
I know some will disagree, but this was my perspective and
Mm-hmm.
the way I saw it. So what I want in the future is let's bring context, let's bring listening and understanding. Let's find a way to reconnect the people that got into these situations instead of isolating and throwing them away.
Beautiful. Are there examples of things like this happening now?
Absolutely. Yeah, and in Alameda County, there is an effort to bring more restorative justice. I just saw a wonderful article in the New York Times about a woman's court that was started in Hawaii, where they
Oh.
only address women defendants because, most of the people that are criminal defendants in the system are men. Uh, I don't know the percentage offhand, but it's something like 95, 96%. Most of the crimes are committed by men. And frankly, it's mostly men between the ages of like 18 and 30, right? That's the truth. But just like in the medical world, where all the medical research and attention goes to men and not to women's bodies and to what women need, it's just the same way in the justice system. And so women who have special, like it should never, in my judgment, it should never be true that a woman's given birth to a baby in jail or prison, right? It should never be that a woman is separated from her child at birth after giving birth to a child in custody, right? Like that's just completely inhumane and setting up that family, that kid for future problems. So, and women often are dealing with domestic violence that is not addressed by what's happening in the system. Women are often being victimized in all kinds of different ways. So, a woman's court is one example of doing that. You could say the same thing for veterans courts, right? We have brave men and women who've gone and fought overseas for our country and sacrificed sometimes like everything. I mean, many obviously are killed, but those that survive have often terrible injuries and casualties, both physical and emotional, mental. And yet, when they get home, they find themselves cut out, and a lot of those folks end up in substance abuse and homelessness and difficulty. So, how can we bring special attention to these folks and give them the treatment they deserve? So, there are a lot of these kind of special courts, special approaches. There are mental health courts, there are drug courts. And so I think these are really good examples of how things are improving. And I'd like to see it go further. I'd like to see a massive reform of our prison system. There's been a lot of studies and attention to some of the way European countries handle this, especially Scandinavian countries, where you have a prison system that's not designed to just lock somebody in a cage and leave them there. It's designed to actually give them skills, to teach them how to cook, how to take care of themselves, how to become a contributing member of society again. And so I think we have the examples out there. We have the models. The question is, do we have the will and the political will to actually start to enact this stuff in our own communities?
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. I had no idea about these alternative programs actually being done. That the women's court and veterans court, that's a huge step, I think, in the right direction.
There is progress.
Yeah.
I mean, and there is room for hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I guess we're almost out of time. What are some personal practices? I know sitting in circle is key, but on your own, that a young person, watching this could start to take on, that might give them more clarity or peace as they grow up and get
Yeah.
going in life.
I mean, I'm a life coach, so I got a whole
Oh,
a whole bunch of these.
okay.
But I would say, and I do mentor and coach a lot of younger people. And I should add also to the circles. There's a lot of growth and evolution happening with teenager circles, right? Boys to Men is a wonderful organization. There are lots of organizations that are really trying to bring this kind of, let's say, technology to the young, right? Because imagine if I just wish when I was 12 or 13, when I felt super alone and isolated and like nobody understood me, and I just had a lot of shame because I thought there was something wrong with me. What if I'd actually had a place with maybe some older men or older mentors and my peers where I could actually tell the truth and be like, oh, you know what? I'm not the only one that struggles with sadness and loneliness and isolation. I'm not the only one that thinks there's something wrong with me. So I see that happening. But in terms of practices, I really encourage younger people, first of all, read books, right? It's kind of going out of style these days, but read some books. And it doesn't matter to me what the book is. Fantasy, sci-fi, that's what I like.
Yeah, me too.
But, read some nonfiction here and there too, right? Read some good stuff. Take care of your body, right? Use your body, especially when you're young. Man, I'm not young. I'm 57. I'm getting ready to have back surgery next week. It's different for me now, but I'm so grateful that I've been taking care of my body all these years. I've always been a yoga aficionado for 30 years, so my body is flexible and supple, and much more so than some of my peers. Watch your nutrition, watch what you're eating, because so much of the food that's coming through this system is unhealthy or even poisonous. Find some kind of spiritual practice, or contemplative practice, if you will. It could be meditation, it could be writing, it could be poetry, it could be walking. I don't know what that is for people, and that's part of what I do as a coach, is help people find the thing that works for them. But have a space where you can just be quiet, where it's not just all the distraction and the buzz all the time. I really want people to get help, whether it's therapy or coaching or insight. Like, do the work to really get to know yourself. Like, do the work to start to love yourself, right? And it takes a lot of work. At least it did for me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It takes some work. And so I guess, to sum it up, I would say to the younger generations is, find a way to do your personal work, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's sitting in circle, maybe it's going to church. I don't know. I don't know what that is for anybody else. I just know that there's an opportunity to do that work, to grow and evolve and get insight into what makes me tick, what makes me how I operate.
Well, it's one of my bigger visions for a beautiful future is to have that baked in to society, where it's not a question of whether you're going to find a mentor or a guide or a coach. God knows I could have used coaching in my 20s and didn't even really know that I needed it. It was so out of context for me, and out of price range. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't able to spend extra money. I was just making rent. In my
100%.
20s.
And this is actually why I think it's so important to have the circles.
Yeah.
Because to me, when I'm talking about a circle to sit in, I don't mean a for-profit circle.
Yeah.
I mean a circle that's free, that's accessible, right?
Yes, has to be.
That's available to anybody, right? Because it doesn't take a lot of money
Yeah.
to have a room and a circle of people. What it does take is love and some degree of skill and training. But really it takes presence and inclusion. And when we can do that, this is something everyone can have access to.
It is one of the most beautiful things about Mankind Project, that they promote these free circles that are not part of any type of business arrangement at all. I think it's what sets it apart from, honestly, for me, every other program I've ever seen. And so I agree. Yeah, it's just so beautiful and so needed. Come find us if you're out there looking. I,
Mankindproject.org.
yeah,
Yep.
I know. I would.
Check
I
it
know.
out.
We don't get paid to promote this stuff. We
No,
just
we do. We do not. Yeah,
So
as I say to people, Mankind Project's like really a nonprofit.
yeah,
Like we're,
yeah,
yeah. And if you want to give us money to
yeah,
the project, it's tax deductible. We could use it.
totally.
I also want to shout out for women's work. Women Within is a beautiful program for women. That's kind of like a sister organization. And as I mentioned, Boys to Men for teenagers. There are a lot of organizations out here doing this work, just like MKP and just like Women Within. And the cool thing is like there's no competition here. There's 60 million men in the United States. Like there's plenty to go around.
Yeah,
Let's just get everybody into the work.
totally. Agreed. 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 Yeah. Any type of work, any type of truth speaking your truth, getting in a circle. I'm all for it. Yeah. Oh man. Well, thank you, brother Dave. This has been beautiful.
Thank you, James.
I appreciate your time and your sharing your big heart with everybody and sharing your vision for a beautiful future. It's really, really wonderful to hear.
Well, thank you for doing this and for your vision and for, I see you living your mission and doing it. And yeah, I'm proud to know you, brother. Let's keep going.
We will. We will. Awesome. All right, brother Dave. Blessings.
You too.
Take care, brother.